You're at your kitchen table, laptop open, feeling pretty good about yourself. You just moved your emergency fund out of that ancient brick-and-mortar account, paying 0.01%, and into a shiny new high-yield savings account. You found it on one of those big finance sites. Clean green logo, friendly copy, a list titled The Best High-Yield Savings Accounts of the Year. You click the blue button next to the number one bank, signed up, and now you're staring at 3.75%, maybe 4.00% APY. You lean back with your coffee and feel like you did your homework. Here's the uncomfortable question. What if the site you trusted to find that account is basically a marketing machine wearing a lab coat? What if the bank at the top of that list isn't there because it has the best rate, it's there because it paid to be there? Those best HYSA lists are more often than not paid billboards dressed up as advice, and trusting them blindly can quietly cost you real money through tiered rates, direct deposit requirements, and promo rates that expire the moment you stop paying attention. Hey, I'm Alex. I spend an unreasonable amount of time trying to understand how money actually works. Not the textbook version, the real one. If you've ever felt like you're working harder than ever and your bank account still isn't catching up, you're not imagining it. This video is about why your high-yield savings account might be quietly losing you money, the math, the psychology behind it, and what to actually do instead. We've been trained to think of personal finance websites as neutral referees, watching out for us against the banks. But NerdWallet, Bankrate, and the rest of them are businesses, very profitable ones. NerdWallet alone controls something like 12 to 15% of the entire organic personal finance lead generation market, and that translates to hundreds of millions in yearly revenue. So how do sites that give away calculators and articles for free make that kind of money? Affiliate deals, display ads, and lead generation. When you click See Offer on one of those best savings accounts pages, you're not just opening an account, you're triggering a payout. The bank pays the site a commission for every approved lead. On big ticket products like credit cards or mortgages, that payout can run anywhere from $50 to $500+ per conversion. These best savings accounts lists will insist there's a wall between their sales team and their editorial team, that partnerships don't affect the rankings. Maybe, but look at the actual page and the conflict is hard to miss. Google treats personal finance as your money or your life content, which means it demands a high bar for expertise and trustworthiness. So these sites keep an army of writers and fact-checkers on the general educational stuff to look legitimate. It's the specific product rankings where things get murky. The banks that don't pay commissions get buried 3 scrolls down or left off the list entirely. Let's do actual math. Take SoFi. Land on a popular comparison site and you'll see up to 4% APY in big letters. Read the fine print and the up to is doing a lot of work. To get 4%, you need recurring direct deposits or at least $5,000 in qualifying deposits every 31 days. Miss that and your rate drops to 1%. It gets worse. That 4% includes a temporary 0.70% boost that only lasts 6 months. After that, you're back down to 3.30% permanently, unless you keep chasing new promos. Citibank's Platinum Savings advertises 3.75% APY, only if you hold a $5,000 balance. Dip to $4,999, say because you had a car repair, and your rate doesn't nudge down. It falls off a cliff to 0.25%. $1 under the line costs you a 93% cut in interest. Then there's Axos One advertising 4.21% APY. That rate caps at $249,999.99. Above that, it's 3.50%. And to unlock it at all, you need $1,500 in monthly direct deposits, plus a $1,500 average balance in a separate Axos checking account. That's 2 accounts and a bureaucratic checklist just to get the number they put in bold on the homepage. So why do comparison sites make you jump through all these hoops when flat no-strings accounts exist? Take PBank. It offers 4.60% APY according to market data on your entire balance from $1. No minimum, no fee, no tiers, no direct deposit games. So why isn't it sitting at number 1 on every finance blog? Because PBank doesn't pay affiliate bounties the way SoFi does. It also has a real trade-off. It's wire transfer only, no ACH or Zelle, so it's not built for daily use, just for parking cash at the best possible rate. Since it doesn't fit the affiliate business model, it barely shows up. Same story with New Tech Bank's 4.20% APY. Heavily promoted, rarely mentioned alongside the fact that it caps you at 6 withdrawals a month, sent only back to your original funding source. These sites aren't ranking the best accounts, they're ranking the best paying ones. You might be thinking, does 0.5% really matter? It's just cash sitting there. It matters more than it feels like it should, and the reason comes down to something Morgan Housel calls the money illusion in the psychology of money. People are comforted by a positive number, full stop. We'd rather earn 11% when inflation is running at 13.3% than earn 2% when inflation is 0, even though the first scenario is actually losing you 2.3% of purchasing power a year. The banks print 11%, and your brain reads win. Inflation and fee drag don't send you a bill. They just quietly eat the difference. When your rate slides to 3.30% because you missed a direct deposit window, your balance still grows a little every month, and that's enough to feel fine about it, even though after taxes and inflation, your real return might be close to 0. There's also the pull of convenience. We live in a world of 5-minute signups, and that ease of use quietly outweighs the math for most people. You accept a worse rate because the app had a nicer interface. John Bogle, who founded Vanguard, spent his career hammering one point. Costs don't regress to the mean. Stock performance is noisy. A hot fund manager might beat the market for a year or two before drifting back to average. Cash isn't like that. Gross yields on safe cash reserves are roughly the same everywhere, so the fee structure and the yield drag are basically the whole game. When a bank waives fees or offers a temporary boost, it's buying you as a customer, betting you'll be too busy to move your money once the promo quietly expires. Bogle put it simply, a penny saved in expenses is indeed a penny earned in net stundable income. Shave off even a fraction of a percent year after year, and over a decade that adds up to real money. Two people, same $25,000 emergency fund. Sarah Googles best high-yield savings account, clicks the top result, and opens a SoFi account at that flashy 4% APY. She's also a freelancer, so 3 months out of the year she doesn't hit the $5,000 deposit requirement, and her rate drops to 1% during those stretches. After 6 months, her promo boost also expires, and her base rate settles to 3.30%. Run the numbers over 12 months. 6 months at 4%, $500. 3 months at 3.30%, $206.25. 3 months at 1%, $62.50. Total, $768.75. Sarah's happy. Free money is free money. Mark skips the sponsored lists, digs through raw rate databases, and finds PBank's flat 4.60% APY. No deposit rules, no minimums, no tiers. He accepts the minor annoyance of wire transfers instead of Zelle. Over the same 12 months at a flat 4.60%, he earns $1,150. That's $381.25 more than Sarah on the same amount of money, without switching his paycheck routing or opening a second account he didn't want. He just asked for the raw number instead of the marketing. Treat comparison sites like storefronts, not advisors. Scroll to the top or bottom of the page and find the advertising disclosure. It'll say something like, "We may receive compensation." Once you've read that, treat the whole page the way you treat a car salesman's pitch. Skip anything that requires routing your paycheck there, unless you were already planning to bank there anyway. Your emergency fund shouldn't be tangled up with checking account rules. Watch for the tiered balance trap. Ask what happens if your balance dips even $1 below the threshold. If the answer is your rate falls off a cliff, that account is designed to punish you for having an emergency, which is the one thing thing an emergency fund is there to handle. And instead of Googling generic terms that favor whoever spent the most on SEO, check crowdsourced trackers, places like r/high yield savings, which tend to surface the smaller banks and credit unions the big sites ignore. A savings account is a tool. Its only job is to protect your cash from inflation and be there when you need it. The industry has turned that simple job into a customer acquisition game, wrapped it in hybrid checking products and deposit requirements designed to lock you in. Strip away the logos and the app design, and what's left is a commodity, and your only real loyalty should be to the number. Once you stop taking the best of lists at face value, you're the one deciding where your money goes, not them. Let me know in the comments if this changed how you think about your savings account.